Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Volume 2 career mode here on the channel. Just 3 races remain here in the regular season as we head to what could be one of the craziest races of the whole season here at the Indianapolis Roval. Ready to spice it up here in Indianapolis with a big opportunity maybe for us to get to victory lane for the first time, but as well maybe a surprise winner which could flip the playoff grid again for a bit of an upside down little twist right there. So it all comes down to getting a good starting position here in qualifying. But on my qualifying attempt, I actually had issues with my wheel. Look at this, you can see it right here. My car's kind of like wobbling back and forth all over the place here, and actually I completely missed my braking zone into turn 1, so it was an absolutely horrendous start to the lap. However, we would actually still put together a pretty decent lap here compared to what the AI were able to put up. So actually completely wrecking the car ended up not being the worst thing in the world for myself here. Now I thought I was going to be qualifying probably dead last year, but like I said, I was able to put together a pretty decent lap after that whole debacle down that front straightaway into turn 1. We crossed the line and still beat the goal time and qualify P12. How about that P12 with spinning out in turn 1 and handling issues on the front straightaway, which I was able to figure out, by the way, was because my controller and wheel were connected at the same time. It was causing some weird issue, and as soon as I unplugged my controller, it was fine. Bubba Wallace, by the way, all the way down in last place, and then we have our playoff fighters of Alex Bowman there just in front of us, Matt DiBenedetto a little bit behind us. So once again, we're kind of the meat in the sandwich between Matt DiBenedetto and Alex Bowman here as we were ready to get racing from this Indianapolis road course, and we saw how this went in real life recently. Joey Logano there, an engine change after qualifying. He is sent to the back of the grid as Martin Truex Jr. is on pole, trying to get a win here from Indianapolis now as he's got his teammate of Christopher Bautis behind him, who's virtually in a must-win situation if he wants to get into the playoffs. Had a strong race last time at the road course in Watkins Glen, but it's going to be green flag racing here from Indianapolis Raceway as we look to get ourselves maybe a punch ticket into the playoffs here today, like others look to do as well here as we make this long run down towards turn 1. The AI really like to check up early going down into turn 1, and when you're starting on the left side of the track, you don't really have much option. You just kind of have to deal with it and stay put in behind whoever's in front of you. If you're on the right side of the track, you can pull out and just absolutely send one up the inside and probably gain 25 positions, especially if you were starting at the back of the grid. If you start dead last year at the Indianapolis road course, just pull to the right side of the track, you'll probably pass nearly 3/4 of the grid in just the first corner. So we are here through this little chicane, this little left-right chicane here, and you can gain so much time compared to the AI through that chicane and down the straightaway. The straightaways, I don't know what it is, but about halfway down every straightaway, the AI seem to struggle to keep their pace. So they have a really good first half of the straightaway, but a really weak second half. So it's just all about that second half of the straightaways that is going to give us opportunities here today. You see the side-by-side action there in front of us. Kyle Busch as well, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, all of these very experienced veterans of the sport. There a little bit of contact maybe between Kyle Busch and Elliott, and I'm going to look to the right-hand side of the two-time Cup Series champion of 2015-2019 as now we as well enter the top 10 not only, but as well actually a chance to go up the inside of Alex Bowman, but there was some contact right there with Kyle Busch. Elliott actually runs the teammate of Alex Bowman off the track there, so we're going to gain the spot over the Ally Financial Chevrolet Camaro there, up at a P8 now behind Chase Elliott, and look at the exit there for Elliott, a terrible exit out of the corner. That's going to put myself right on the bumper of 7th place. We're going to have an opportunity here to maybe have a very, very strong day, and maybe, like I said, a potential race victory on our hands for finally the first time in our Cup Series career in our rookie season. We easily passed Chase Elliott, already up in a P7 behind Kyle Larson, and then number 5, I sent one maybe a little bit too deep into turn 1, pulling a Kyle Larson from Indianapolis road course on Kyle Larson right there briefly, but we would stay put in behind him after I got the car slowed down enough after a little bit of contact with that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. But now to the right hand side of Larson, we clear him into the braking zone with absolutely no issues whatsoever as we try to now run down Kurt Busch, but Larson is actually going to brake way deeper than me and actually run right through me, run both of us off the circuit. What are you doing, Kyle Larson? Goodness gracious, what a clown right there. And then he actually overshoots the corner. I'm going to let him know I don't really care. We're not going to get roughed up here today. I'm going to spin Kyle Larson out. He's locked into the playoffs. I really didn't care at this point. I said, you know what? I'm trying to get in the playoffs here. We're in the fight for the final few positions. If we're going to go and run me off the track, well, I'm going to take you right out of the track as well. So we send Larson in the complete wrong direction. Cars are still getting roughed up left and right. Elliott's getting shoved on by Bowman. A little bit of payback there. And you saw up in front of us some contact. You got Hamlin and Bell and Kurt Busch all going at it here. It's full blown full-blown chaos, but it's already the final lap here, coming to the checkered, the green-white checkered here in stage 1, and it's going to be Martin Truex Jr. winning this first and opening stage. We're going to come through to cross the line for P6, and what is a bit of a chaotic first and opening 2 laps here now, and certainly I didn't do anyone favors by completely dumping Kyle Larson, but like I said, you know, Larson, he hasn't won, but he's locked in easily on the standings, while myself, we're of course fighting for every single point we can get, and he's just going to run us off the circuit. But fortunately, we did make a points gain on both Bowman and DiBenedetto there, and as well we gained spots there in the pit lane, move up to P5. Stage 2, now getting underway here from this third row on the left side. You got Martin Truex Jr., and then the real-life winner from this track here a few weeks ago. It's Tyler Reddick there, second place, and look at row number 2, Hamlin and Bell. I don't know what's going on. They were like side drafting each other. They really slowed up here down into turn 1, and once again, we're on the left side of the track, so we just have to stay put behind any Hamlin. Kurt Busch, by the way, he just completely cut turn 1. If I would have done that, I would have had a 5-second stop-go penalty right there, but the AI, they can get away with really anything here compared to what the player can at this track, and that was, I feel like, the biggest thing for myself here today at Indianapolis. You guys know, if you play NASCAR Heat 5, how easy it is to get a corner-cutting penalty at this track. There was Kurt Busch is going to run us right off into the left side of the track there, off the actual racing surface now, as we head down towards the braking zone. But today it's all about, of course, making sure we don't get a penalty as well, because I'm sure it's going to happen once or twice here with how crazy this track is and how difficult it is to not get a penalty here. Now, as you see Christopher Bell up there in the mix, Truex, he might have won stage 1 and won the pole, but he's down to about 3rd place here as Reddick and Bell are side by side, Kurt Busch and myself as well, and I can see immediately there we get run wide in that right-hander, and I saw that wall sticking out. I said, if we get run too wide there at one point, we're probably going to be head on into that barrier and potentially out of this race. So that's something we're going to have to be aware of here now, as we're still side by side into the right-hander there, and actually more contact with Kurt Busch there. And look at this, look at the behind us, look at all the cars getting run off the circuit there in that right-hander. It's not just myself being run off the circuit, it's anybody on the left side of someone into that corner there. But fortunately, we were able to get the best of Kurt Busch there and actually get around him here as we come through down this front straightaway and continue to try and move ourselves forward now up inside this top 5, and 3 Joe Gibbs racing cars up there in the top 5 as well. Look how quickly and much ground we just gained right there on Martin Truex Jr. down into the braking zone for turn 1. So we got speed in this car, and it's really the straightaways that are making the biggest difference here, because they can hold their own through the corners, and I sometimes can't, because we get our first course penalty of the day, and it's just a mere centimeters that make the difference right there, and if you're gonna get a legal corner from NASCAR standards or not. We have the pace to win this race here today, and it's things like that, little things like that, that's gonna take us out of an opportunity to win. Now fortunately, we still have a couple of laps of racing here in stage 2 and a whole third and final stage, and look at this mess right here. They're going 3 wide. I said, you guys want to race like that? I'll do the same thing. I'll make a 4 wide here now, as we're going to try and take the position, and then the yellow flag is actually going to come out here with just approaching 2 laps to go in the second stage. So I couldn't find the reason for the caution, but unfortunately we did lose a point to Alex Bowman there, but we had gained so far more than he has gained on us there. Now, as we're going to come into the pits here for 4 tires, fill it up with fuel, as you see Matt DiBenedetto there inside the top 15, but not inside the stage points. And now we're starting on the right-hand side of the track here, which is an opportunity for us. We could really lunge one up the inside here, but we're towards the front of the grid, so we're not going to be able to make as much of a gain, obviously, with the AI down into turn 1. But for more realism and immersive perspective or purposes, I decided to not just go full-blown video game move, but I did still send one up the inside here of Martin Truex Jr., make a 3 wide there with him, and Chase Elliott down into turn 1. We're going to get around the number 19 2017 Cup Series champion, and Martin Truex Jr. continues to fall down the order. It's not been a good day for him since the stage 1 came to a completion there now as well. We got past Elliott. Now we're up on the back there again of that Monster Energy Chevrolet Camaro driven by Kurt Busch. He's got speed here today, but he doesn't quite have that RCR number 27 Flow Racing Chevrolet Camaro speed here now, as we're going to be alongside the 2004 Cup Series champion here into the braking zone. Our teammate of Tyler Reddick here up in the mix as well, and actually I'm about to mix it up with him because I completely missed the braking zone and we overshoot by a mile, and now we give up the same position that we just gained over Kurt Busch. And you know what, not really losing too much though now as we continue to battle it out here with this Monster Energy Camaro. He runs us wide, and look how close right there we just got to going into that barrier. Eventually we're going to end up head on in that thing. I'm very confident at this point now, as Christopher Bell is leading towards the end of this first lap. This is huge for us, because if Christopher Bell wins this race, as Kurt Busch continues to be a bit of a goblin right here, but if Christopher Bell wins wins, he's in the playoffs, and then it's going to be a 3-car battle. Myself, Alex Bowman, and Matt DiBenedetto, all for one final spot in the playoff grid, because we can't catch really anybody else ahead of us with the 2 races remaining in the playoff grid after this. So it's going to be a 3-car race for one spot, is at least what it looks like right now, if Christopher Bell wins this race. Now, there's still some time here, because we clearly have the speed to actually go up there and maybe fight Christopher Bell for this win. Now, a little bit of contact there with our teammate of Tyler Reddick. That was all my fault there, and now he's going to run us a little bit wide there, but he actually gave us more room than others have. He's been very strong at the road courses, not only in real life, but here in this career mode this season. He got his first career win in real life at Road America at a road course, and then he got his first career win in this game right here in this career mode, actually at a road course as well, but it was Sonoma Raceway. There was, oh my goodness, Reddick goes full bulldoze there into the right-hander, and that was, of course, just once again me being a victim of being on the left side of someone, actually get into the left rear of Reddick there. And as that was happening, actually, earlier in the lap, Matt DiBenedetto has an issue, goes for a spin. That is huge right there, because he would come back across the nose of Santos, get completely wrecked, and DiBenedetto would nurse it back to the pit lane, no caution, but he would be out of the race. Matt DiBenedetto's day would come to an end, which is huge for the playoff battle, because we know it's myself, him, and Bowman battling for the final, what could be for the final one spot in the playoffs, and now he's out and going to lose a ton of points compared to myself and Alex Bowman, which is going to be huge for us going into Michigan. There you can see myself dealing with handling issues, and we make a big error right there, other than, of course, the corner cutting penalty. That's only the second error we have made so far now, as we're going to get back past Mark Truex Jr. really quick, though. Now just trying to settle in with all these mistakes I'm making, but it's so easy to run down the AI when they're in a group like this, because they all get just bottled up together, and then you can just gain so much time on them. We got past Alex Bowman again to the right hand side of Chase Elliott here. Still a lot of racing to go. This is a pretty lengthy third and final stage that they have set up for us here, NASCAR has, and we were continuing to put the work in here. Now to the right side of Reddick, we pass him back up into 4th place. Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, all up there in front of us. Green flag pit stops on the way from the looks of it here, because we haven't really seen, well, we've seen a lot of chaos, but we haven't seen the chaos that brings out the cautions here. It's just a lot of guys being very disrespectful towards each other, which is kind of the NASCAR way nowadays here, especially when it comes to the road courses and short tracks as well, and a lot of restarts on the mile and a halves, and you know what, now that I think about it, literally every single track we go to, I think is kind of what I'm trying to say, but we continue to close the gap. We get to Hamlin, we get to Bell, and here we are all over the back bumper of that FedEx Toyota Camry of Denny Hamlin, and actually we're going to look to the left side of him. Look at the lack of pace there, but Christopher Bell, he's pitting, and so is Denny Hamlin, actually. So we're going to take the net lead here of this race, but of course, we're going to be coming into the pit lane ourselves here very, very shortly here. Now, I was thinking coming into the pit lane potentially here at the conclusion of lap 16, and that is exactly what I would decide to do. We're going to come in here all by myself here, just hoping for a quick pit stop here from this team. We do have a little bit of repairs to make, 2 seconds of repairs that I don't think is going to be, you know, too much of an issue if we don't repair it, but I decided to repair it anyways here. So it was a 17.1 second pit stop here. So where will we cycle out? Will we be leading this race? We know we have the pace. No, we will not. You can already see Hamlin is approaching us here. Down into turn 1, we get a course penalty for doing absolutely nothing wrong. Into turn 1, we just were trying to follow the pit exit, and now we're way off of Hamlin and Bell. Bell, thank goodness, has lost the lead. That is huge for us as well, but what in the world was that penalty there from NASCAR, which in my opinion got that completely inaccurate. Just got to move on though, because we know we have the pace and we're continuing to show it here. We're running down that number 20 again of Christopher Bell, and I don't know how he lost the lead, because he had a comfortable lead there at the beginning of the pit cycle, but I am so glad he lost it for my situation here with this playoff battle. And now here we are all over the back of that Stanley Tools Toyota Camry, actually going a little bit wide right there, but fortunately it actually kind of helped me there. It got my apex pretty well there as we're going to come through the little chicane, and look at that, we're all over the back of that number 20 of Christopher Bell. We're going to look to the right hand side right here, about halfway down the straightaway. There it is. He really lacks the pace, and that allows me to move up into 2nd place. And now here we are trying to run down Denny Hamlin, coming to just 3 laps to go next time around, but I completely overshoot turn 1 like I did in qualifying, and we're going to go for a spin there and another course penalty, and there it is. I think our 3rd mistake of the day. We knew they were going to happen. I said I was going to make mistakes here. It's such an easy track to screw up on, and now we gave up a whole bunch of time. I don't think think now there's enough time without a caution to run down Denny Hamlin. We could get to Christopher Bell. It really depends on how quick we're able to get past Kurt Busch, but it's hard to pass Kurt Busch when you got Chase Elliott in the Hooters car going bulldoze mode here. I mean, what is he doing? Trying to get revenge for his teammate Kyle Larson? I don't know. And now look at Elliott going all over the place. He's slipping and sliding. What a save there from the 2020 Cup Series champion. First of all, we made more contact right there on the exit of the right-hander. Things getting a little bit heated with Chase Elliott here. He's going to fight back to my right side. I just couldn't get the car to rotate down to the inside right there. Just carried too much speed. And now we're side by side. And oh my goodness, there it is again. Elliott's going to run us off the circuit. At this point, I said, I'm done with you. Get out of here, Chase. I'm taking him right out of this race here now, and multiple cars are piling in there. Tempers continue to flare, but the caution would come out. Look at that mess right there that I just created. And I mean, I just had it with Hendrick Motorsports, first of all, and Chase Elliott, but I decided everybody's coming into the pit lane. I decided we're going to make a bit of an audible here. We're going to stay out and try to win this race. So, we have worn tires. We have Corey LaJoie starting alongside us, who has stayed out as well, but we're trying to win our way into the playoffs. So, we're going to get back underway here. Green flag racing from Indianapolis Road Course with 2 laps to go, and guess who got the glitch on the restart where the car doesn't go? This guy right here. So, Corey LaJoie is actually going to be able to clear me down into turn 1 here, into the braking zone. So, we're going to actually have to settle in behind him. Christopher Bell at my inside there briefly, but he is absolutely nothing for me right there. So, will we hang on with the worn tires? I think we could, but we're gonna find out here now as we are, you can see, slipping and sliding, and that actually opened the door for the 20 of Bell to slip up the inside. We had an issue like this in Road America late in that race. We had worn tires and paid the price for it. Have we made the wrong call here? About to find out here now as we're right to the back again of that number 20 of Christopher Bell. I'm actually gonna give up a big shove here down the straightaway, and here's an opportunity right here. We're gonna make it 3 wide with Corey LaJoie and Christopher Bell here down to the braking zone. LaJoie backs out of it. I don't send it in as deep as I should have and could have, and now we get at least clear of the number 7. Bell leaves the door open. He chomps our nose a little bit there. We're going to get to the back from. We're both racing to solidify our spot in the playoffs. Contact with the 20. He runs us wide into the grass, and there's the barrier. We run into the barrier. Big damage there to the front end of the car. Christopher Bell has shown exactly what he is willing to do to get himself into the playoffs, and we get a course penalty again because when I got on the curb, the car kicked out, and I just slid right across the curb into the grass, and NASCAR's terrible penalty system here in NASCAR Heat 5 at the Indianapolis Road Course bites us again, but Christopher Bell just showed exactly what he is willing to do to win a race to get into the playoffs. And now, well, I can tell you right now, he's going to find out exactly what I am willing to do to beat him in the future as we continue to try and move on, passing Austin Dillon. What a day here in the Indianapolis Road Course. Tempers flared many times, including with myself, with Kyle Larson, with Chase Elliott, and just many drivers we had made contact with here now. And as you saw, how many drivers got ran off the circuit here. I'm still giving it everything I got because I know now if Christopher Bell wins this race, it's a full-blown point battle between myself and Matt DiBenedetto and Alex Bowman, so we're getting every single thing we can get here, and there it is again. This time we don't get a corner cutting penalty, even though that's like the same thing we did last lap. Bowman is right there at my right hand side now into the braking zone, and again we're going to get run off the track, this time by the guy we're now battling for the final spot in the playoffs, because Christopher Bell is going to win in the Indianapolis Road Course. He is going to be in the playoffs here as I'm all over the back of that 48 of Alex Bowman, trying to wreck him at this point. I won't lie, I was trying to take him out too, because I was just fed up with how this race is gone, and I put myself directly in the wall there trying to get back to that 48, and we give up the spot to the 14. We cross the line. P21. Epic disaster. The final, couple of laps of this race was for us here today. An embarrassment of a last couple of laps for this number 27 team. Certainly entertaining, at least, but that's really, I think, all there was to it. I was pretty frustrated. You could tell by the way I was driving. I was pretty aggravated with how this race was going in this game, and just with the AI just going bulldoze mode every opportunity they could get, and it felt like I was driving in the real world NASCAR Cup Series at the Indianapolis Road Course. It really got on my nerves a couple of times, and Christopher Bell is locked into the playoffs now because of that mess in him, getting the elbows out and shoving me off the circuit. So there you see the battle now. So we are actually 16 points ahead of Alex Bowman for that final spot, 41 ahead of DiBenedetto after his retirement. So it is going to be one heck of a battle with 2 races to go. Michigan could be a bit of a tough race for us in terms of pace, and that is going to really be the deciding factor of what happens going into the regular season finale in Daytona. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. That's going to do it for me. 2 races remain in the regular season. Let's make it happen and get into the playoffs. Have a great day, everybody.